Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for all the folks across the globe. Thank you for joining our webinar. My name is Shiva Raja. I'm the Technical Solutions Architect at HYCU. I've been with the company for more than, I would say, 5.5 years, and today I'll be talking about our HYCU R Cloud's benefits for Google Cloud customers and how our solution can truly cater to your data protection needs. So let's start with who we are. We offer a truly unique perspective in protecting workloads across a diverse spectrum of IT infrastructure and services. So, what does that really mean? It means how HYCU can protect your mission critical data within Google Cloud and outside of Google Cloud, be it on-prem or software as a service. We have more than 4,000 customers across the globe, spread across 78 countries. We are headquartered in Boston. We have more than 10 plus offices across the globe, and we have more than 400 plus partners worldwide. And the best part about us is our customer success and customer service, because we have earned an NPS score of 90 plus, which is an extremely difficult thing to achieve. This is probably the reason why we've been named as the visionary in data protection with Gartner's Magic Quadrant 2 years in a row. And of course, we are waiting for our results for the year 2024. And this is pretty much due to the reason of our solution's ability to deliver ease of use while scaling up, scaling out, and scaling across on-prem, public cloud, and SaaS workloads with minimal resources. As some of you might be aware, we were awarded as the Google Cloud Partner of the Year for the year 2024 at Google Next. And there's a little bit of history behind that. Long story short, back in 2017, we started our we started our company named HYCU, and we delivered the world's first purpose-built data protection solution for Nutanix platform. And at that time, Google Cloud did not have any backup vendor protecting them or supporting them, actually. And based on our success with Nutanix platform and our unique API level integration, Google Cloud wanted us to build a truly bespoke Google Cloud native data protection solution for their customers. And in 2018, we delivered just that, right? I mean, we were basically the first we were the first ones to offer a truly purpose-built, unique data protection solution for Google Cloud customers that is readily available from Google Cloud Marketplace. So all it takes for any Google Cloud customer is basically navigate to Google Cloud Marketplace, search for HYCU, and you'll be able to find our solution. And all you have to do is just click on subscribe, and pretty much everything will be deployed automatically. I mean, you as an end user don't have to go through any of these manual processes of deployment or configuration or even discovery for that matter. So fast forward in 2024, we've been named as the Google Cloud Partner of the Year, who basically and we basically go above and beyond for our customers, especially when it comes to our data protection capabilities. So before I get into the details of how our solution can help you on Google Cloud, I'd like to discuss about the common challenges, especially for Google Cloud customers who don't use our solution and try to protect their workloads on Google Cloud. The first being separate tooling to back up every service on Google Cloud. Now, let's say if you're a Google Cloud customer and you're using GCE, you're using GCVE, and let's say you're using a couple of services such as Cloud SQL or BigQuery or Bigtable. Now, if you're using Google Cloud's native solution, you need to basically use their individual services or backup service, and you need to enable them manually, and you need to monitor the backup status of those individual services manually, right? So this could be an extremely difficult task because you don't have a unified experience to begin with. You don't have a unified user interface and an experience to begin with, and you need to maintain the data protection of these workloads individually, which could be an extremely painful task. In addition to that, when you try to include any of the legacy data protection vendors to support your Google Cloud workloads, you're going to have a couple of limitations. Number one, you would have to basically deploy these solutions manually within your Google Cloud infrastructure. You need to maintain them, you need to size them appropriately. And in addition to that, despite going through all of those troubles, you would still only have support for a subset of workloads running on Google Cloud. And when it comes to protecting workloads that are outside of your Google Cloud infrastructure, be it on-prem or be it software as a service, then this basically becomes even more difficult and cumbersome because you need to maintain individual data protection solutions for those specific type of workloads, right? So these are the most common challenges that we see, especially when it comes to protecting workloads within or outside of Google Cloud. So how am I going to talk, or how do we address these challenges? Now let's start with the workloads that are running within your Google Cloud infrastructure. HYCU provides a true one-stop shop for all of your workloads running within your Google Cloud infrastructure. Now, I'm not just talking about your workloads that are running within your GCE infrastructure or hosting SAP HANA within GCE or hosting your workloads within your GCVE or having unstructured data within your GCS engine or running your Kubernetes for your persistent or non-persistent applications. I'm also talking about all of the other services that deal with Google Cloud infrastructure. I'm talking about your database as a service, such as your Cloud SQL or Alloy DB or your Bigtable, your BigQuery, your Firestore. I'm also talking about your data protection, your platform as a service, such as Cloud Run or App Engine or your Artifact Registry. I'm also referring to your file share or data as a service, such as Google File Store shares or NetApp Cloud Volumes. Like, who goes about protecting all that? You need a unified solution, and HYCU does exactly that. If you basically look at other data protection solutions supporting Google Cloud and our solution, we have the most comprehensive coverage when it comes to supporting your traditional and your native services running within your Google Cloud, period. You won't find any other backup solution or data protection solution that has the level of coverage as we do. Now, that is with regards to how we protect your workloads within Google Cloud, right? Now let's talk about solutions that reside outside of Google Cloud. And before I get into that, I just wanted to give you a little bit of perspective of how workloads have evolved over a period of time. Now, most of us on the call, we have a lot of experience working with on-prem infrastructure, and this was pretty much the case years before, right? We used to have these vendors like storage vendors like NetApp or EMC, and we had like the hypervisor infrastructures such as like VMware, and then came Nutanix, and then you have all of these hypervisors from Microsoft. So it was pretty much a very predictable on-prem infrastructure where regardless of the virtualization technology, regardless of the underlying storage or the networking technology, the scope of that technology was pretty much limited. You might have a huge scale of these workloads spanning across multiple data centers, but the scope of the technology was still under control, right? And then came public cloud, right, where you have Google Cloud or Azure or AWS, but they were still like they started with hosting these traditional compute-based workloads where you would run these virtual machines or your NAS or block storage on public cloud. But then came the whole concept of cloud transformation, where you could basically run your workloads on dedicated services such as database as a service or platform as a service. And then you basically have these SaaS vendors like storage as a service vendors such as Salesforce or ServiceNow or Atlassian or GitHub, where you basically leverage these services to run your workloads. And this is where things become a lot hairy, because when we did a quick survey and when we did our own research on how many SaaS apps does every company use, it basically comes to an average of 250 plus SaaS applications. And this is pretty, like, this is not far from the truth. Our company itself at HYCU, we use more than 100 plus SaaS applications, right? And And the worst part here is more than half of these SaaS applications, the data within these SaaS applications are not protected. And there's always this misconception that when you host your data on a given SaaS application, it automatically gets backed up. That's not the case. What the SaaS vendor really does is to ensure that they're prepared for a disaster recovery scenario when there's like an outage on one side. They would try to fail over these workloads on another side and ensure that the service is up and running and available for you. But the data that resides within that specific service is your responsibility, which is why the whole terms shared responsibility comes into picture, where you need to take care of your own data, right? And that is exactly where HYCU's R graph comes into picture, because what we do is we basically have the ability to discover your entire set of applications that run within your organization. We basically have the ability to discover the entire chaos, the entire spread of your applications within your infrastructure. And once we discover that entire chaos, we have the ability to literally organize those applications based on your own discretion, right? You have the ability to group these applications, let's say based on DevOps, where you have all of the applications within Jira, or you have the ability to group your applications that cater to your sales teams, or you have the ability to group your applications that caters to your HR team or your engineering. Basically, have the ability to group them and organize them based on your own discretion. And once that is done, you have the ability to delegate that control to those end users, basically administrators of those specific applications, or you can actually take control and start protecting them. And that is the true value, right? Because today, when it comes to data protection, everybody thinks about protecting workloads like those traditional compute workloads on-prem and on public cloud infrastructure, maybe to an extent protecting those workloads on as a service offering on a public cloud, but nobody really cares about protecting workloads on a SaaS-based application such as Salesforce or Atlassian or GitHub or DocuSign. All of these SaaS applications pretty much remain unprotected, if not, if you don't take that effort to do something about it, right? And that's exactly where HYCU comes into picture, because we deliver the true capability of protecting all of your SaaS applications, and you can protect them back to your Google Cloud infrastructure, right? So this is the true value, where if you're a Google Cloud customer, we basically have the ability to bring in all of your SaaS applications back up onto your GCS object storage, and you can actually reap the benefits of your Google Cloud object storage, be it in terms of its cost efficiency, be it in terms of its multiple geographies, or be it basically in terms of availability, or be it in terms of its security, where you actually have the ability to make these backups truly immutable, that are safe from accidental or malicious deletion, or in addition to that, it's also safe from any of your ransomware attacks. So that is the true value here. It's not just about protecting all of the diverse workflows within your Google Cloud infrastructure, but also protecting all of these SaaS workloads that reside outside of your Google Cloud infrastructure, and you bring them back onto your GCS object storage as true backups. Now, in addition to that, we also have the ability to protect your workloads within your on-prem infrastructure as well. I mean, let's take an example of Nutanix or VMware or any other hypervisor with all of these virtual machines and even applications running within these virtual machines. HYCU has the ability to pretty much discover all of these hypervisors, the underlying virtual machines, and even go through this automated application discovery, where we can discover all of your databases or mail servers in an agentless fashion, and we can actually deliver truly application consistent backups or even crash consistent backups in an agentless fashion. In addition to that, we also have the ability to discover all of your physical servers and the applications running within your physical servers, and also your file storage, be it your NFS or CIFS shares hosted across your NetApps or your PowerScales or your Nutanix files or any other vendor. And we have the ability to protect all of these workloads onto your Google Cloud infrastructure in an in a crash consistent or an application consistent or data consistent manner onto your GCS storage. And guess what? All of these backups protected on your GCS storage again leverages those same GCS storage's advantages, such as cost efficiency in terms of automated tiering, or in terms of data security when it comes to protecting your backups from malware or ransomware attacks, or high availability, meaning that you basically have the ability to protect your backups across multiple regions within your Google Cloud infrastructure for high availability purposes. So again, that is the true value here. In addition to that, when you do backups of your on-prem infrastructure on your GCS storage, you have an additional advantage with HYCU where you have the ability to recover these on-prem infrastructure onto your Google Cloud. This could be your virtual machine running applications. This could be a physical server, or this could basically be your file shares, be it NFS exports or SIFs or SMB shares that could be restored onto your Google file store or onto your NetApp Cloud volumes. And that is the true advantage here. It's not just about backing it up to Google Cloud, but also recovering them on your Google Cloud infrastructure, which serves as a DR target as well. So, in summary, what really makes our solution different? Number one, it's the breadth and depth of our support when it comes to protecting your workloads on Google Cloud, your on-prem infrastructure, and your software as a service. We basically have the ability to protect or deliver a true hybrid cloud data protection solution onto your Google Cloud object storage. That is the huge advantage. Number two, we deliver our solution purely as a service in an agentless fashion where you don't need any plugin or any additional physical appliances, right? We have the ability to discover all of your Google Cloud traditional and service-based workloads. We have the ability to discover all of your SaaS-based workloads, and we can basically protect them onto your GCS object storage. Number three, despite doing all the backups in an agentless fashion, we do have the ability to deliver full or granular restores. And this applies to all of your on-prem workloads, all of your Google Cloud workloads, and also your SaaS workloads. And as I always say, your backups are only as good as your restores. If your restores don't work, or if your restores are not useful, your backups are no good. And that is the huge advantage here. We have the ability to deliver truly granular restores without any agents or plugins. And as I pointed out before, we also provide a true ransomware protection for all of your backups. I mean, HYCU does offer a truly air-gapped data security when it comes to performing backups. I mean, users, only authorized users will be provided access to do backups. And despite all of these security measures, we also have the ability to make your backups truly immutable onto your GCS object storage, where we leverage your GCS object storage worm capability to ensure that your backups are truly immutable. And last but not the least, we do offer a fully unified interface when it comes to protecting your workloads, be it on your Google Cloud or workloads that are running outside of your Google Cloud, such as your SaaS workloads. So it's time for me to take a look at the questions on the chat. Okay. All right, the first question on the chat is, do we support object level log when performing backups onto GCS object storage? So that's a very good question. The answer is absolutely yes. We do have the ability to perform backups by leveraging not just the bucket level lock, but also the object level lock. What this means is your backups, be it incremental forever or periodic backups that involve periodic full backups, will be protected all the time, and this will basically prevent your backups from aging out if those backups are not expired. Because when we do incremental forever backups, we do make use of block level expiration, meaning that there will be certain backups that will be retained due to block level dependencies, and when the backups tend to be aged out, we will basically refresh the object level lock to ensure that the backups are always protected using the GCS's worm-based capability. So yes, we do support object level lock. Thank you for that question. All right, there's a second question, and this is a very good question, by the way. So the question is, we do have a lot of SaaS vendors offering native backup capability or native backup and recovery capability. So what is the point of using HYCU to protect these SaaS applications? So the answer is very simple and straightforward. When it comes to these vendors delivering native backup and recovery capabilities, their functionality is extremely limited, right? What I mean by that is, uh, most of these vendors, when they provide their native feature, you can only do backups once a day. You won't have any flexibility with regards to backup schedules. You won't have any flexibility with regards to where these backups reside. Is it truly an offsite location, or is it basically residing within the same site where your production is being hosted? You won't have any visibility or control over that. In addition to that, you won't have any control on how long you can retain your backups. Most of these vendors only offer like a week's worth of backup retention, or maybe at max you can basically retain those backups for a month. Uh, and in addition to that, when it comes to restore capabilities, most of these vendors only offer full restores. They don't offer you the granular restores. So these are some of the limitations that I just listed out, and HYCU pretty much addresses all of these limitations. And that is the reason why it's always better for you as an organization to invest in a solution that is truly an expert in offering a data protection solution, not just in terms of backups at your desired frequency, but also having that ability to deliver granular restores. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. All right, there's another question on the screen. Okay, so, all right, there's another question on the chat. And the question is, we talked about, all of these diverse workloads within and outside of Google Cloud, and we claim that we can offer a single pane of glass. Is there anywhere that we can see a quick demo of how this looks like? And that's a very good question. So it gives me an opportunity to show you a quick demo of our solution that offers a single pane of view, a single pane of glass for workloads that run within and outside of Google Cloud. So let me just do a quick switch here. All right. So as you can see, this is the login screen of our HYCU R Cloud, where I can basically log in using my Google Cloud credentials or Microsoft Entra ID, or I can even make use of my Okta credentials. But in this demo, I'm going to make use of my Google Cloud credentials to log in. And the moment I log in, as I pointed out before, the first thing that you would see is the R graph view. And as I pointed out before, what R graph really does here is it has the ability to discover the entire chaos of applications that are spread across within your organization. What we allow you to do, or what we help you to do, is basically have the ability to discover and organize all of these applications and have the ability to group these applications based on your own discretion, right? So as you can see, I have several examples here that actually talk about grouping applications based on DevOps or HR or engineering. And let me just double click on the engineering group. So if I basically get into this group, I have applications that are very specific to my engineering team that deals with GitHub, or let me just expand this view so that you can see as well. So yeah, so you basically have applications that deal with my engineering team that who work with tools like Atlassian, Jira, Atlassian Confluence, or GitHub, or Google Cloud Storage to store their repositories, Okta to basically make use of they basically make use of Okta for their internal logins. So pretty much all of those applications that have been discovered. And from here, you actually have the ability to protect them, where you can actually get into the inventory view. And this basically shows you all of those SaaS applications that I just talked about. All you would have to do is basically pick and choose what application that you want to protect. And we basically have built-in policies, or you can make use of custom data protection policies that can be exposed to the appropriate end users, and all they would have to do is select the appropriate policy and apply it to them, and they will be protected instantaneously onto your Google Cloud Object Storage, right? And all of these parameters on your backup frequency or your backup targets, where where your applications get protected onto your GCS. All of those things can be defined within your policy and your configuration settings. And you basically set this up and expose it to your end user. This is the true definition of self-service and multi-tenancy. And all your end users get to see are these backup policies that I just showcased. And they get to protect them. And when they want to do a restore, we also have the ability to offer truly how do I say this? A granular restore capability. And this is basically an example of doing a granular restore of one of our Jira applications. You can actually see here that our engineers can not only restore their projects, but also the underlying objects within their Jira project, such as their tasks or issues or workflows, attachments. All of these things can basically be restored with no agents or plugins, and that is the true beauty of our solution. We literally have the ability to plug into the REST APIs of any of these SaaS applications and deliver a truly application consistent backup and a granular restore. Now from here, I also have the ability to basically discover all of your Google Cloud instances, where you basically have the ability to discover all of your VMs that run within your Google Cloud, and again, make use of that same policy-based engine to basically do backups of your Google Cloud VMs. And here we actually have the ability to restore not just your entire set of VMs, but also do a file or a folder level restore. When you click on buckets, we basically do the same thing too. We have the ability to basically discover all of your Google Cloud buckets, and you can make use of that same policy-based engine to protect all of your buckets within your Google Cloud infrastructure. So I can keep going on, but we are pretty short on time. But this actually gives you a pretty good high-level overview of how we can truly offer a single pane of glass when it comes to protecting your diverse set of workloads that run within and outside of your Google Cloud infrastructure. So I hope that answers your question. All right, so I don't see any more questions on the chat. So as you can see on the screen, this is our QR code. So please scan this QR code if you're really interested to do a demo. Basically have yourself signed up for our HYCU RGraph. This is totally a free solution. We'll be more than happy to set up a quick POC environment and have the set up an infrastructure where you have the ability to discover all of your SaaS apps within your organization. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at info@hycu.com, or if you have any more questions, please reach out to us at www.hycu.com. Thank you.